Court of the Burlington Township Judicial Circuit Criminal Division is now in session. The Honorable Robert H. Willis is presiding. Today's case is Kevin Nivens versus 711 Hoagie's Corner and the Southland Corporation. The objective today is to understand what a business owner's duty of care is to his or her customers to protect the customers from criminal attacks. The question we're trying to find out today is 711 liable for injuries caused to the customer, Ken Nivens, who was attacked by a group of youths in the parking lot after he refused to buy them beer? Plaintiff, Kevin Nivens, is seeking monetary damages for injuries caused by the attack, as well as pain and suffering due to lost wages. We will now have an opening statement by the plaintiff witness.
Good afternoon, Your Honor. Today, I'm here to prove that my client, Ken Nivens, was brutally beaten and assaulted by Robert Figueroa, and we request $100,000 for pain and suffering, medical expenses, and loss of work. The defendant, 711 Hoagie's Corner, is to be held accountable for these actions as they did not give proper assistance to my client.
Opening statement now from the defense.
Good afternoon, Your Honor. Today I'm representing 711 Hoagie's Corner because we are being sued by Ken Nivens for damages for his resulting injuries. Today you're going to hear from the plaintiff about he was attacked by youth, and I'm here to prove that Nivens' injuries were the result of a random criminal attack which was impossible to foresee.
All right. The plaintiff, will you call your first witness?
I call Ken Nivens to the stand.
All right, all right, before you do that, raise your right hand. Do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do.
Have a seat.
Do you recall what happened on that night, Ken?
I was approaching to 7-Eleven like I normally do when there was a group of youths in the parking lot, about 4. They approached me and asked me if I could buy beer. And when I declined, I went to turn back into the store, and I was pulled by my hood to the ground and beaten by the group.
Can you please state your injuries to the court?
I received broken bones and trauma to my head, neck, back, and ribs.
No further questions, Your Honor.
Crossed by the defense.
Could you please tell me again what happened that night, Ken Nivens?
So I was approaching 7-Eleven like I normally do, and there was a group of about 4 teenagers, including Figueroa, in the parking lot. They approached me and asked me if I could buy them beer. And when I said no, I turned to enter the store, and I was pulled from behind by the hood and beaten by the group.
Did you check if 7-Eleven had any security cameras?
No.
No. And do you have any medical notes?
Yes, my lawyer has one.
For the record, medical states there were injuries made it impossible for him to go to work, so he was out of work. And as far as the medical condition, Mr. Nivens received blunt trauma to the nose, head, and back, making it impossible for him to work. Okay, so this is the notice for work.
Okay, no further questions, Your Honor.
Okay, do you want to redirect? Do you have any additional questions for the witness?
No, Your Honor.
Okay, you may be excused. All right, now it's time for the defense to call their witness.
I would like to call Robert Figueroa to the stand, please. We gotta do
Um,
Yeah.
Please, sorry about that. You raise your right hand. Do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do.
Thank you.
What were your friends doing that night at 7-Eleven?
There was about 4 of us, and as we often do, we were asking people to buy us liquor.
So that's go into my next question. Did you ask Ken Nivens to buy you beer?
Yeah, I did.
Okay, he did. Your Honor, my client was wrong for asking Ken Nivens to buy him beer, but for them to think that he brutally attacked him is absurd, and he didn't do the injuries that the prosecution thinks, so I have no further questions.
All right. Cross.
How often do you hang out at the 7-Eleven?
Every day.
About how many teenagers are there with you, like, most nights?
There was 4 of us. Most
Not on the
nights.
scene. Most nights.
Most nights, there's about a dozen of us.
Doesn't. Okay. Do you often solicit customers to buy you beer?
Whenever we have the chance, we do.
No further questions, Your Honor.
Do you wish to redirect?
No, Your Honor.
All right, you may step down. Do you have any further
I
witnesses?
would like to call Kathleen Anderson to the stand, please.
Please raise your right hand. Do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I do.
You may be seated.
Ms. Anderson, how long have you been working at the 7-Eleven?
5 years.
5 years. In all your years of working, had you ever experienced any violence?
No.
No. Do you guys have security cameras at 7-Eleven?
Yeah.
Okay. And for the entire year preceding the incident, have you ever observed any fights or altercations between customers and teens in the parking lot?
No.
No. Have you ever had customer complaints?
No.
Would you agree that this was a random criminal attack that just happened to be at the 7-Eleven?
Yes.
No further questions.
Redirect.
While on your way into the 7-Eleven, have you encountered any teenagers?
Yes.
Have they offered anything to you?
No.
Have you spotted them outside your work?
Yes.
How many?
Usually there's about a dozen.
No further questions, Your Honor.
Wait, what kind of question is that?
I literally
You
don't
spot
know.
it?
Any other questions?
Like,
You want to redirect?
yeah.
The witness is not being excused.
What kind of question is that?
Um,
How many people are outside? Like,
You objecting to his question?
I'm objecting, yes.
Um,
Like, that's like, she's been working there for years. Like, there could be 2 people out there, could be no people out there. Like,
So what's your
kind of question?
specific objection to his question?
oh, well, I'm objecting is how is she supposed to know how many people are out there all the time?
You want to respond to that?
No.
Okay. Okay.
So I guess the question is, he's asking is, has she seen any other incidents that have occurred, or in her travels back and forth to work, has she noticed there was a group of people outside in the parking lot? Is that what you're kind of asking?
Yeah.
Wait, that's okay. You can kind of ask it or you can ask it. He kind of asked it, so he didn't really.
All right. First of all,
He wasn't really specific.
You're a defense attorney. You don't make determination as to matters of fact.
Well, I'm just saying he wasn't being
You don't want you to be in
specific.
contempt of court, so I understand that, but this is not the time or place for that type of question. Okay, either you object to his question, I can either overrule it or sustain it, so I'm just trying to get additional information. You can't ask his motivation,
Okay.
all right? All right, do you have any other questions?
No.
Do you have any other questions?
Nope.
All right, the witness is excused. Do you have any other witnesses you'd like to call?
I would like to call John Shattuck to the
All
stand.
right, John. Raise your right hand. You swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do.
Have a seat.
John Shattuck, you are a longtime customer at 7-Eleven, correct?
I am.
Okay. How long have you been coming to 7-Eleven?
Years?
Years. Okay. And all of your years of coming to 7-Eleven, do you have any recollection of any acts of violence?
No.
No. In fact, if customers were misbehaving, they were told to leave the premise, right?
They were.
They were. And would you agree that this was a random criminal act
I
that
do.
was at the 7-Eleven?
I do.
Okay. No further questions, Your Honor.
Cross.
Have you encountered any teenagers at the store?
I have.
Have they offered to solicit anything?
They have.
Were you on the premises during the time of the event?
No, I was not.
No further questions, Your Honor.
Would you like to, any additional questions?
No, Your Honor.
All right, the witness may be excused. All right, at this point, we will have closing statements from the prosecution, followed by closing statements from the defense. So, you're up.
Your Honor, my client and I have shown enough evidence to prove he was assaulted by Robert Figueroa and that 7-Eleven Hoagie's Corner is to be held accountable. The 7-Eleven is supposed to protect the customer as they are seen as an invitee and have a special relationship. Through the trial, we have displayed as to why this assault is seen as a foreseeable act and 7-Eleven failed to respond properly.
Okay?
Your Honor,
Defense.
the defense would like to reiterate that there was no recollection of any acts of violence at the store, that this was a random criminal act that happened on 7-Eleven. 7-Eleven shouldn't be charged with anything that happened to Ken Nivens.
Okay. At this time, we'll take a 2-minute recess so that the judge can make a determination as to the merits of this case. I'm ready to make my decision, but before that, I'd like to kind of reiterate some of the things that we've heard during this trial. It seems as if, historically, between 7-Eleven, though over the last 6 years, it's been between 10 and some say 100, but on the average, it's about 15 to 25 use there on a regular basis. They would solicit customers to buy beer. As been admitted, this is an illegal activity. They would also drink beer in the parking lot. The store clerk also testified that they would fight amongst themselves. A deputy sheriff who was there testified that loitering and the consumption of drugs and alcohol could lead to fights and assaults. So it seems like this has been happening over a period of time. So 7-Eleven was aware of the problem. For years, the 7-Eleven was a place for youth to gather and drink alcohol. Figueroa himself confirms this. They would frequently ask patrons to buy them beer. Figueroa also confirms this. Sometimes the store clerks were verbally accosted by the youths, the drinkers, when they got perhaps a little inebriated. An expert witness testified that 7-Eleven allowed the drinking to get to the point where the situation was out of control that night. So what I'm saying is that there's a history of drinking and other illegal activity going on in the parking lot over a period of time. So what's 7-Eleven's responsibilities? In doing additional research, other 7-Elevens in the nearby communities hired security guards to address similar problems. So evidently, this is not particularly germane to this situation, but to others. It seems as if 7-Eleven did nothing, even on a general basis, to address the continuing problems and did nothing the night Nivens was assaulted. So again, if there was drinking on the property, the defense, they had signs that says no soliciting, no loitering, no loud music. But loitering was allowed to continue for a period of time. So based on the fact that 7-Eleven was aware of the situation, they could foresee that this was a possible situation that could happen, and it's the duty of a business to the invitees in terms of the special relationship to make sure that the area is safe. In this case, it seems as if because this occurred over a period of time, they were involved in illegal activity, getting the patrons to buy people underage beer. It seems as if they should have been aware that this was a potentially serious situation. So therefore, I find for the defense, $100,000 to be paid to Mr. Nivens based on negligence and not providing a safe atmosphere for customers. Case closed. So So it looks like, in terms of history of this, right, businesses have a responsibility to protect the environment. And it's,